Yo, what is up guys, Calcharo here, back again with another banger of a video for Wuthering Waves. Today I want to talk about my Calcharo build, and also things that you can work on right now to help get ahead for your Calcharo build if you plan on pulling for Calcharo out of the 5 banners that we have at the start of Wuthering Waves, where you get to choose which 5-star that you want between Calcharo, Encore, Verena, Jane Sheen, and Lin Yang. We have quite a bit to go over, so we're just going to get right into the video. So here we are, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Calcharo. He is a electro unit. He uses the broad blade weapon type. We're going to be going over his skills, resonance, his echoes that you can go and get right now for Calcharo. So starting up first, we have Calcharo's resonance skill, Extermination Order. Cast up to 3 attacks, dealing electro damage. If this character is switched or resonance skill Extermination Order is not repeated in a while, it will be put on cooldown. So basically you have to deal the 3 attacks from Extermination Order, otherwise it will just be put on cooldown after probably 5 seconds, give or take, or if you switch out your character. Resonance skill Extermination Order does not reset your basic attack stage, so I would imagine that means that you could use this anywhere in your basic attack combo, and it's not going to start you back at like 1, because your basic attack performs up to 4 consecutive attacks. So let's say you are on basic attack 2 and then you use the Extermination Order, it would immediately put you back to the basic attack 3 for your follow-up attack, and then go into 4, going all the way back to 1 after that, unless you use Extermination Order somewhere between again. Up next we have Calcharo's Resonance Liberation, Phantom Etching. Calcharo attacks the target, dealing electro damage, and enters Death Blade Gear state. After Resonance Liberation Death Blade Gear state ends, Calcharo's next intro skill is replaced with intro skill Necessary Means, which deals electro damage considered as intro skill damage. Death Blade Gear. Basic attack is replaced with basic attack Hound's Roar. Dodge counter deals increased damage, considered as resonance liberation damage. So while you're in the Deathblade Gear state, your basic attack becomes Hound's Roar, where you can perform 5 consecutive attacks dealing electro damage. So you have a new basic attack and it deals 1 extra hit when you're in the Deathblade Gear state. Now when I first read Calcharo's Forte Circuit Hunting Mission, I was a little bit confused, and I think it's just the way that they set up the explanation. So the way I'm going to read this is I'm going to read this part first, then I'll read this part, and it'll make sense why when I do it. And I'm going to do the same thing for this section down here, where I'll read this first, and then I'll read this section. So starting off with Cruelty, Calcharo can hold up to 3 Cruelty. Under Resonance Liberation Deathblade Gear state, Cruelty cannot be acquired. So basically if you use your Resonance Liberation, you cannot stack Cruelty. However, if you use the Resonance skill Extermination Order, you gain 1 Cruelty. And remember that you have to use Extermination Order 3 times in order for you to get max stacks of Cruelty. The reason why you want max stacks of Cruelty is because when Calcharo has 3 Cruelty, his heavy attack is replaced with heavy attack Mercy. When casting heavy attack Mercy, Calcharo consumes 3 Cruelty to deal electro damage considered as heavy attack damage, and recovers resonance energy and concerto energy. You understand why I read this part first and then I read this part above it? It makes a lot more sense when you talk about the statistic and then how the statistic plays into the mechanic that he actually has, in my opinion. So up next, Killing Intent. Under Resonance Liberation Deathblade Gear state, that replaces your Forte gauge with Killing Intent, and you stack it up to 5 times, which makes sense because you have to use your basic attack Hound's Roar to gain 1 Killing Intent, and it hits 5 times in 1 combo. When Calcharo has 5 Killing Intent, his basic attack is replaced with heavy attack Death Messenger. When casting heavy attack Death Messenger, Calcharo consumes 5 Killing Intent to deal electro damage, considered as resonance liberation damage, and recovers resonance energy and concerto energy. So Calcharo seems to be a very combo heavy character that has a lot of different styles that you can use when you are playing as him. You can either focus on going into the Resonance Liberation Deathblade Gear state and stack Killing Intent to get the heavy attack Death Messenger, or you can do the Resonance skill Extermination Order to gain Cruelty to get heavy attack Mercy. I think that's a very interesting concept to be able to unlock different attacks based on which combo you are using in combat. Up next we have Calcharo's passive skills. Bloodshed Awaken. When casting heavy attack Mercy, Calcharo's Resonance Liberation damage bonus is increased by 10% for 15 seconds, and Revenant Rush. When heavy attack Death Messenger hits the area, the damage taken by Calcharo is reduced by 15% for 5 seconds. So assuming neither of these percentages change or the way these skills read, I'm personally going to run Bloodshed Awaken because I just want to deal a ton of damage. Up next we have Calcharo's Resonance Chain, which this is basically what you'll get for when you pull duplicates of Calcharo. So at 1, when Resonance Skill Extermination Order hits a target, it additionally recovers 10 resonance energy. This can be triggered once every 20 seconds. At 2, after Calcharo casts intro skill Wanted Criminal or intro skill Necessary Means, his resonance skill damage bonus is increased by 30% for 15 seconds. At 3, during the Resonance Liberation Deathblade Gear state, Calcharo's electro damage bonus is increased by 25%. At 4, after casting outro skill Shadowy Field, electro damage bonus of all team members is increased by 20% for 30 seconds. At 5, intro skill Wanted Criminal and intro skill Necessary Means deal 50% more damage, and I'm not gonna lie, this is the only one that actually really made me want to get him to this level. At 6, when casting Resonance Liberation Death Messenger, Calcharo will summon 2 phantoms to perform coordinated attacks. Each phantom deals electro damage equal to 100% of Calcharo's attack, which is considered Resonance Liberation damage. So that super cool phantom that attacks with Calcharo, you get 2 of them when you use your Resonance Liberation Death Messenger, when you have this many duplicates of them. I'm not going to go for this, but if I get lucky enough to get it, I am going to play this character way too much for years and years to come. Because that just sounds so sick. Alright, now let's talk about the best echoes for Calcharo. Now, as you can tell from this list, there aren't very many echoes that we can go for with Calcharo in terms of what we know. I imagine there are going to be many more echoes when this game actually comes out, so let's talk about what you can actually get right now for Calcharo that is going to help get your echo set started. So I have talked about this in quite a few videos before, but once again, you can do a web event right now to get a 5-star echo and claim Asterite, which are the premium currency for Wuthering Waves. If you are planning on getting Calcharo, there are 3 echoes in particular that you can go for, and they are the Electro Predator, the Violet Feathered Heron, and the Flautist. Now me, I was lucky enough to get a 5-star Flautist, so I already locked this Flautist here, and I will acquire him along with all the other rewards that I got for playing this event, such as the Asterite, along with some currency and some EXP booster items. Now remember that once you lock the Echo, that it is permanently locked to the account and that there is no undoing this. So let's go over the 3 Echoes that we can pull from this event for Calcharo, starting off with the one that I'm choosing personally because this Echo also works on Yinling, is the Flautist. It is an elite class, cost 3 Echo, and its ability is you transform into Flautist, continuously emitting electro lasers, dealing 59.94% electro damage for a total of 10 times, gain 1 Concerto energy every time a hit lands. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just really want to shoot lasers, and that was simply enough to sell it for me. Up next we have the Violet Feathered Heron, another elite class, cost 3 Echo. Violet Feathered Heron's ability is you transform into the Violet Feathered Heron and enter a parry state. Counter attack when the parry stance is over, dealing 324% electro damage. If attacked during parry stance, you can counter attack in advance and additionally recover 5 Concerto energy. So if you really like going for the playstyle where you think defense is the best offense and you really enjoy playing a parry style gameplay, this definitely will be the best Echo to go for you. Now this is the last Echo that you can go for. So this last Echo is pretty basic. It is a common class, cost 1 Electro Predator. You summon an Electro Predator to shoot the enemy 5 times. The first 4 shots deal 19.44% electro damage, and the last deals 51.84% electro damage. I'm gonna be honest with you, I would just go for Flautist over this every single time, because I imagine it's gonna deal more damage and also just the fact that it shoots more times. Not only that, but you're also recovering Concerto energy when you hit with FLAUTIST compared to Electro Predator. So if you can get the FLAUTIST or the Violet Feathered Heron, those are going to be the best bet to get you ahead. Now real quick, how exactly does the 5-star Echo event work? It's pretty simple. You just log in with the account that you are pre-registered with, and then you go down to here where there's missions, and you can do these 4 missions up here every day. You get 4 attempts just for logging in, and you get 2 attempts just for sharing the web event every day, so 6 pulls daily. And then the first time that you're doing this, you can also do all of these other different special missions to get even more pulls. And then once you have enough pulls, it'll show here remain attempts, and then you can just summon. And just like that, I got these, that's actually kind of insane. I got 2 5-star cost 3s. Yeah, those are for Donjin and Tauki actually, so that's crazy that I got 2 of them in the same 10 pull. So for those of you who actually want this Rose Shroom, I will give the QR code here along with the link in the description below. So if you want to try and get this same Rose Shroom, I will also include the FLAUTIST here for anyone who is struggling to pull FLAUTIST out of the Echo event. And the last thing that I want to talk about for this video is what weapons should you use for Calcharo? Well, so far there are 2 options that are good, and I imagine we're going to see even more weapons pop up here once the game actually launches. But first, let's talk about the Lustrous Razor. So I talked a little bit about the Lustrous Razor in my last video because this is a weapon that you can actually get for free at level 45, but it's not the only weapon that you can get for free at level 45. There are a bunch of other weapons that you can choose between, and I'll leave a link in the description for that video down below. But basically, this 5-star Broad Blade has 588 attack at level 90. It also gives you a attack buff of 36.45%. Its ability is increases energy regeneration by 12.8%. When resonant skill is released, increases resonance liberation damage by 7%, stacking up to 2 times. This effect lasts for 12 seconds. So this is how it's going to be when you first initially get Lustrous Razor. If you get more duplicates of it though, those percentages will go up higher and higher, depending on how many duplicates you get of Lustrous Razor. So personally, this was the weapon that I was going to go for when I hit level 45, because I just wanted a 5-star weapon for Calcharo as soon as possible. But then I found the Autumn Trace, a 4-star Broad Blade that yes has a lot less attack, but it has a 20% crit rate, and considering how much easier it'll probably be to get 4-star duplicates of weapons compared to 5-star duplicates of weapons, it increases attack by 12.8% upon dealing basic attack damage or heavy attack damage, stacking up to 5 times. This effect lasts for 7 seconds and can be triggered 1 time every 1 second. So basically, every time you just use basic attack or heavy attack damage, you are constantly increasing your attack and stacking it upwards of 50+%, along with having an increased crit rate. So I might honestly still choose the Lustrous Razor because it probably is going to take a lot of pulls on weapon banners to be able to get 6 of these weapons, because I would have to get the weapon initially and then I would have to get it 5 more times to get it to this level. But I basically just wanted to talk about both because they fit different playstyles based on whether you want to work around having plenty of energy for your skills, or if you just want to flat out increase all your attack and crit. But that's basically going to be the video here. There is a lot to look at when it comes to Calcharo and how you want to build him, so I hope this gives some clarity into what you want to go for between the web event with the echoes and what weapons you want to go and get for Calcharo specifically. I want to thank everyone so much for watching. I hope everyone has a beautiful day. Take care.